The fireball of the nine-tailed fox grew larger and larger. In a moment it was larger than 5 skyscrapers combined. Like a sun rising in the middle of Jier's city with heat up to tens of thousands of degrees, everything was destroyed into ashes. The sound of helicopters flying over the city sky, a lone red plane, this is the blood-red characteristic of the television station. Finally, after the city had been opened a large hole and there were not enough shadow beasts to threaten in the sky, they also risked their lives to enter the battlefield, supporting those 2 divine reporters. In front of them was the light from the explosion of 9 tails created. The pilot was both attentively observing and fearfully asking, "What if the plane is shot down?" The reporter with a big camera in his arms turned to the pilot and decisively said, "It's okay, the monsters are fighting crazily, they won't notice us." Does television always produce such brave employees like this? Admirable. The whole city began to fall into the angle of the brave reporter. But suddenly he saw something. Sweat poured out. He was horrified, not knowing what he was looking at. Underneath the ground is the crazy battle between Misty Mountain Beast and Shadow Beast. Elephant Demon with angry eyes using collision skill, crushing enemies, piercing thick walls. Snow Bear uses Thunderstorm Area to smash enemies in a wide area. Hundreds of Shadow Beasts are hit by bright lightning, instantly evaporating. This golden ant is waving its sharp pincers, combining to perform double strength, a skill that he recently had in evolution, will increase strength by 2 times for a while. And a slash across the sky, all shadow beasts are cut into 2 fast speed, no enemy can dodge. This mutant eagle here is furiously dropping fire bullets onto the ground. They are obsessed with bombing the shadow beasts below. This is as easy as pie, right? The beasts just screamed in pain and couldn't do anything. Some mutant birds even turn themselves into kamikaze pilots, turning their bodies into a bullet and shooting straight at the enemy, piercing them in an instant. This white tiger, after massacring hundreds of enemies, is standing on a high mound of land, roaring to show its dominance. It is indeed the habit of a lord. The mutant hedgehog uses its spikes, is struggling to climb up to the tiger's place. "Brother, can I pose with you?" The mutant spider is hanging in midair. All are waiting for enough numbers. The divine tree has taught, fighting must use the head, of course should not use their heads to hit the enemy like the way the white tiger has done, but need to use intelligence. At this time, humans everywhere are watching the battle in this city every second. They are horrified to realize that shadow beasts are too numerous and brutal, but they are also completely stunned by Misty Mountain. These beasts from Misty Mountain are really too domineering, too powerful. Many people also worry for the beautiful city of Jier, now only ashes left, and under the terrifying attack of these 2 sides, this whole city will definitely be destroyed. The reporter on the helicopter is shouting in excitement. Sweat continues to flow out, because the scene has destroyed his perception. This is completely a one-sided massacre, and on the other side, I see shadow beasts killing each other. It's really strange. Here, shadow beasts have divided into 2 colors, green and blue. They are crazily howling and biting each other. It is indeed strange. And the owner of this performance, no one else, is the flower god. Her eyes have turned white, entering a state of controlling creatures within a 5 kilometers radius. But this old lady always has a bit of narrow-mindedness, clearly manipulating creatures to attack their own kind, but she does not allow anyone to harm those creatures she manipulates, and considers them as her partners. The flower god growled, "How dare you harm my partner? Unforgivable!" Blood vessels bulging in her eyes, an anger that we have never seen before, and the fate of the enemy has been determined. At the federal television station, an employee reports, "Director, there is news from Jier City. The field reporter has successfully connected with us and is being broadcast smoothly. The survivors are rescued by the remaining members of the Panda Corps." But suddenly the reporter hesitates, making the director sweat like rain. Every time the reporter hesitates, it is because of very bad news. His eyes are full of pessimism and worry. He asks, "But how? What's the situation?" On the other side of the television bridge, the brave female reporter with a serious face says, "The people are being lined up, concentrated, and escorted out of the city by strange mutant creatures." And behind the brave reporter is the image of a blue mutant wolf, a mutant gorilla from Misty Mountain with a very careful and considerate face, escorting people in order. The reporter continues, "Not only that, a force of mutant beasts is preventing and attacking shadow beasts, forming a security barrier and a safe zone. Our human race is being protected by these strange mutant beasts. Shocked yet? It's really too surprising. The director of the Spiritual Power Supervision Bureau here also received the news above. He opened his mouth in astonishment. It's really those mutant beasts are protecting our human race, right? The assistant also confirmed in astonishment that it was indeed so. Both looked at each other in disbelief. Emergency meeting, emergency meeting. The director is calculating, his face still full of pessimism, considering that divine tree is still a transcendent third order, while that ancient beast is fourth order. His employees also exclaimed that the difference in strength is too great, even if many people are saved. But if they can't kill Ostroth, then it's all for nothing. It will continue to find and destroy humans. This statement is indeed correct. Ostroth once survived means that divine tree has been defeated. It becomes the top of the food chain. Humans can only run away like ants. And they start to calculate together for the next step, which is to think about the worst outcome, divine tree being defeated. Someone suggested. The divine tree is currently the strongest beast facing Ostroth, but if it is destroyed, what do we need to do next? The director with a gloomy face calmly replied. Have the spiritual rockets been fully loaded? The other hurriedly replied. They are ready, boss. The spiritual rockets this time are much stronger than when we attacked the divine tree, because this time, we have gathered strength from superhumans all over the world, ensuring much stronger destructive power. The director decisively said. The moment the divine tree is defeated, launch the rocket. But in his eyes also shone hope and a bit of shame. It's ironic, we naturally attacked and wanted to destroy it before, but now the divine tree has become our savior, becoming a great hope and the only hope of all mankind. A huge foot of the divine tree stepped on the ground to gain momentum. The divine tree was still in combat with the ancient beast. The divine tree roared with a fierce face, willow flying knife. Dozens of green blades were shot out at supersonic speed, each blade as big as a house. The ancient beast was also fast, immediately curled up and spun quickly to defend. This is an absolute defense like that of the divine tree. But it continuously spins to minimize damage. The blades that hit were either deflected or did not cause significant damage. The ancient beast successfully defended but also suffered some damage. Its wings were a bit torn. It is not an invincible beast at all, but now it also began to counterattack. Rain of fiery dust. The whole space is filled with blue dots of light. This scene is a bit familiar. The divine tree is suspicious, a bit stunned looking at these sparkling blue dots. Suddenly, boom! A blue flame exploded right on the body of the divine tree. Its whole body seemed to want to lift into the air. A pretty strong and beautiful hit. The ancient beast Ostroth began to show off arrogantly. I have found your weakness. Surprised, aren't you? I also have fire skills. Whoosh. Boom. Before he could finish speaking, damn it, he thought about this line for a long time but was punched by the divine tree before he could finish. A punch like a skyfall. One branch retracted, and the ancient beast was knocked back. Too fast, too dangerous. The divine tree laughed and said, Oh, is that so? But why don't I feel anything? The ancient beast could only stick out its tongue in frustration. It really didn't see any damage to the divine tree at all, while Ostroth was bruised all over, his face showing hardship and struggle, his forehead wrinkled, his eyes clearly showing helplessness. What's this? Again? What are these orange-yellow lights coming again? The ancient beast looked up. The divine tree squinted and said, Are you a fool? How can someone who controls fire like me have fire as a weakness? This is the truth. Any entity that controls any element will naturally develop strong resistance to this attribute. But why did the ancient beast judge that the divine tree was afraid of fire? Isn't wood always afraid of fire? Unfortunately, the divine tree is not the kind of wood it knows, but a wrong assessment in battle will bring unpredictable consequences. At this time, the fire flowers were very close. Damn it, it felt bad. Boom! The thick fire enveloped Ostroth's body, and the fire was reddened by the dense spiritual power in it. It hurts so much, damn it! Ostroth yelled in anger. It had been complacent, and now it had to immediately brace itself and use spiritual power to push the fire out of its body. He was really angry, his face distorted with anger. He roared, I will kill you! Oh, but the next second the divine tree disappeared. The ancient beast didn't understand what was happening. Then suddenly the divine tree appeared to his left. Surprised yet? The divine tree continued to tease. It's really funny you have fire skills but can't stand the effect of fire, that's why you think I'm like you. This heart attack trick startled Ostroth, almost peeing his pants. He opened his mouth in horror like a child peeing in the middle of the night. The divine tree immediately roared and concentrated its power. Thump! A sharp piercing sound rang out. The root of the tree, like a sharp spear, pierced through the body of the ancient beast, couldn't dodge, because it was too fast, too sudden and too strong. The ancient beast looked up to the sky, coughed hoarsely, tons of fresh blood splattered. The divine tree used its roots to get a blue gem. What is this? It is the energy block sealing panda chi inside. The divine tree continued to punch, and continued with combo punch. But unfortunately, that ancient beast was very alert, taking advantage of the force of the first punch to jump far away. Ostroth slid hundreds of meters on the ground. He had successfully escaped from the deadly combo in a hair's breadth. Damn it, thinking about being punched to death like his previous enemies, Ostroth couldn't help but be scared and sweat poured out. The divine tree really took him from surprise to surprise. A transcendent third order was beating a transcendent fourth order beast to a pulp. Holding Chi-Zi in his hand, the divine tree sniffed, finally saving this panda guy. He came here and fought with such an enemy? Don't know if it's brave or foolish, but certainly he chose with his heart. That's the only choice.